If never I met you, I'd never have to see you cry. If not for our first hello, we'd never have to say goodbye. I keep telling you, hard luck, woman. You'll be a hard luck woman, baby, till you find a man. Indeed. Wow, some good singing on this beautiful Wednesday. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning here on May 31st, the last trading day in May 20 and the 23. And last night we had a great little dinner over at Stacks in Valparaiso. Stacks has two different restaurants in one. The main floor is more of a head. It's a little bit fancy. Yeah, I'd like a glass of Chablis, please. And then upstairs, the second floor, a little more my style. Give me some steak tacos and a Miller Lite, stat. But we were surprised. I had no idea that they were going to have some live music on top of that. It happened to be a couple of guys I know, Chris and Lou, and they were setting up in the corner after we were there for a little while. So it was a nice surprise, but he hadn't seen me yet. And just after they tuned up their guitars and getting ready to play, I yelled out, "Do you know any Kiss?" And he smiled and he looked up and he who else would request Kiss but me? And he just went right into Hard Luck Woman. So that was my rendition of it at the beginning of this broadcast, of the live broadcast here. I wanted to show you some of the debauchery that has been going on in the Robinhood account. If you look just at today, you can see I'm down $7,500. But if we go back, why is that funny? You're such a sicko. If you go back a month, you could see I'm down $61,000. You could have bought like a Porsche. Yeah, but it's only temporary. See, we're already at 59,000. Things are already improving. Then also, if we scroll down a little bit more, you'll see another wah, 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 a little bit of bad news here. I was assigned on my target put options 200 shares at a $152.50 a piece for $30,500. And if we look over here at the Target, you can see it's trading at 134.07. That doesn't sound like a deal. If you bought them for 152.50, and it's not a deal. So I've now entered 3 separate positions on the target last week on Friday. If you watched the episode at the end of trading on Friday, I bought, I think it was 300 shares at 138.90, I believe it was, either 89 or 90. And then yesterday off camera, I added to that position, bought 200 more shares at 133.99. And then while I slept, I thought I was sleeping well, woke up to 200 more shares at a fairly unreasonable price. But that's all right. That's all right, mama. That's all right with me, because we're going to make it work. So I will be putting together a spreadsheet tracking those 3 position entries, all of the dividends, hopefully, and maybe even hopefully not. We may not get to the next dividend payment if all things work out according to the plan. I have collected a nice amount of premium already on the Target. Let's take a look. So with those 3 purchases, my average cost is now $141.38. So still well above what it's trading at this moment, $133.89. So going downtown in today just a little bit. 700 shares, and so let's see here. I still have 1 put contract out there at 152.50. So I'll either just accept it with open arms or roll that thing out. But what are you going to do? So we have, where's that? Let's take a look at what we've collected. So here's the 2 covered call strategies that we have on the board. So yesterday, after I bought the 200 shares at 133.99, I immediately sold 2 covered calls at 136, expiring Friday, and collected $298. And then on Friday, when I purchased the 300 shares at 138 $790. I then turned around and sold those 3 covered calls for $708 because the volatility is so high right now on Target. But again, long term, and like I was saying yesterday, kind of like a bunch of the real estate I bought when I first got into the investing side. I mean, it's just kind of like what you've been witnessing with my stock options trades. I really don't know what I'm doing, but instead of waiting to learn how and then doing it, I just do it and then learn, or hopefully learn from my mistakes. And when I was buying a bunch of real estate at the beginning of my career, I bought most of it wrong, but because I held it and managed it, all of them, I'm talking every single one of them, turned into a really good investment. Some of them an amazing investment. In fact, one of those purchases funded this entire account. So this entire Robinhood account was funded by the sale of one of my properties that we owned for 14 years that I bought just with a ridiculous type of financing. I had well, I'll never forget it specifically. I paid 1.685 million for a 24 unit apartment complex. I had seller financing of I think 250,000. I had a commission check of 115,000 built into the purchase, which essentially, then it went in one pocket, out one pocket and back in the other. And then I had 3 partners who each contributed 35,000 to the deal. And then over time, I bought them out. They basically collected a percentage. So I guess, they were partners, but I was paying them an interest rate on their 35,000 a piece. So over time, I bought all 3 of them out. I paid off the seller financing. Then eventually got it all the way down to almost, it had a nice amount of equity. It wasn't even on the market, and a guy came along and made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and then I just put all the proceeds after paying taxes. A smart person would have exchanged, which would have initiated a 1031 exchange and turned that into another real estate investment and not had to pay any taxes on the gain. But I didn't want more real estate, less. So I paid, like, I don't know, it was a crazy number, like $400,000 in income taxes through the gain and the depreciation clawback. And then the remainder, I just, from that one deal, I put into this Robinhood account that keeps going down. But eventually it's going to go up. I promise you that. So after 8 minutes of babbling about nothing, let's get to our first trade. We do have the 200 shares of Target. And even though it's downtown to Chinatown again, let's trade those. Let's sell a covered call. Let's see what kind of action we can get just on a 2-day trade. Let's see, it's at 133.32. I could split the difference because you can see where I'm at. I've got the 136s that I sold yesterday. I have the 139s that I sold on Friday. If we sell those 2 at 137, so just if we looked at that number alone, I mean, it's not the real math. Divided by 2 days, multiplied by 365. So that'd be an 87% annualized return. Now, the only problem would be is if I sold those 200 shares and the stock bounced through that strike price between now and the end of trading on Friday and those shares were called away, I would then lock in my losses because I paid 152.50 for those 200 shares. But sometimes you got to roll the dice and take your chances. So we'll probably do that. Let's take a look here. Covered call 137. And sure, there is a profound risk to this strategy because the market is down right now and today, and Target's been down. But at any moment we can hear that the debt ceiling vote has been finalized and we're in business, and the market could, of course, react euphorically. And all stocks, all ships rise during those moments, and Target could be one of them. And there we go. So those were sold. We got a credit of 138. So I'll check right back in, but then I got to go. I got to roll out of here. Lady and I are going to the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. We will be behind the Cubs dugout, section 12, seat 17 and 18, which is on the aisle. So look for that. She'll have a red Cubs hat on. I'll have a blue Cubs hat on. She was showing me the shirt that she basically butchered up. It was a Cubs t-shirt. She cut like a V-neck into it and then cut part of the bottom off. And she's like, doesn't it look really nice? And I'm like, yeah, it looks great. She's like, why do you say that? You're mean. I go, that's a perfectly good Cubs shirt. So we got that going for us. And thanks for joining me. And I apologize for all of the babbling I did, but I'd like you to hear the backstories and share my mistakes in real time with you. So hopefully over time you can find me to learn from some of those mistakes. So as we're standing here, I can see the premiums are going up on the trade I just made because Target is still going down, or is it going up? Let's see. It's at 133.88. So still downtown to Chinatown market overall. Let's look at the Big Mac over here. Let's see, refresh that. Looks like the SPY's at 418.27. Dow Jones is down 213, NASDAQ down 10, and the S&P 500 down just under 20 points. So that's what we have right now. I may or may not be back with another video, but if I am, I'll see you then. Otherwise, subscribe, like, comment, share it with a lovable friend, and I'll see you in the next video. Go Cubs, go.